بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. ما بعد أحبتي في الله. My dear brothers and sisters, today we'll talk about the second verse of Surah Al-Baqarah. يقول سبحانه: ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين. That is the book. There's no doubt in it. The guide to the righteousness. The guide for those conscious of Allah. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه. أولا من حيث الوقف، والوقف منازل القرآن، والوقف من متطلبات التلاوة، عندما أمر سبحانه وتعالى بقوله ورتل القرآن ترتيلا، قال الإمام علي رحمه الله ورضي الله عنه: الترتيل هو معرفة التجويد، هو تجويدك الحروف ومعرفتك الوقوف. هو تجويدك الحروف ومعرفتك الوقوف. نعم، إنه كما قال الإمام ابن الجزري: وما في القرآن من وقف وجب ولا حرام غير ما له سبب. ولكن عندما يحسن الإنسان التلاوة ويحسن مواضع الوقف يوضح المعاني ويبعد السامع عن اللبس. فعلينا أن نتنبه لهذا الأمر. Before I go into some of the meaning of this verse, I'd like to highlight the importance of waqf and ibtida, where you should make a pause, where you should stop, from where you should start. All of those are matter. And as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded in Surah Al-Muzammil, وَرَتِّلْ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا, as a definition of tartil, Imam Ali said, tartil is when you are focusing on the letters to perfect the articulation of it, and when you focus where you should make pause and not causing misunderstanding by the way how you stop. تجويد الحروف ومعرفة الوقوف. So you should really focus on two things, makharij and wuquf. And there's no something that is must to stop here or there, unless that the meaning might be changed. So that has to be, considered. So it's very important that when you recite Quran, you know where you should stop. Alhamdulillah, the masahif that we have, the scholars work on it and they help us with that. You find like the committee that behind that printing that mushaf, one of their duties to see where it should stop. And that's why you find differences, because that's a matter of ijtihad, a matter of opinion, so where they should stop. And there are specific books to talk about that and give you explanation why it's better to stop here or why it's not better, why it's must and why it's not must. So all of those ones. And that's something has to be considered. And based on that, the meaning might change. So we have to understand that. And the meaning might change based on where you stop. If you stop here, this will be the meaning. If not, this will be the meaning. And we can give examples throughout, the tafsir when we comes, we can mention, some of that. And actually we should mention some of that, because that's important, especially when it's must to stop or must not to stop. Those positions we should, highlight on those ones. In this ayah, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. ذَلِكَ اسم إشارة، واللام للبعد والكاف للخطاب. فذا They call it in Arabic ismu ishara, to point to an object. Like, هذا, that. The part of it, ha, and then that, you see? ذلك, ذا, لا, ka. The ism al-ishara is that actually. It's not the whole all words. Okay? So that, like this and that. Okay? That's the use of it. That, and then lam, to refer to something is far. And ka, when you speak about, when you speak to, to the first person, when ذَلِكَ. So how you say for something not far? You see هذا, for example, yes? But when you see ذَاكَ, it's not that far as well. You refer to it. So ذَاكَ. But you say ذَلِكَ, it's far. But the book is not far. This is the point I want to make. The book is not far. The book is here. So what do you mean far? Do not understand far just the distance. No. هو في المكانة, in position, in status, which is any person never highlight the Quran and give it its status, he would never benefit from it. ذلك الكتاب هو عالي المكانة وليس المكان. إذن اللام للبعد لكن ليس البعد المكاني. وإنما الذي يقدر القرآن ويعطيه حقه هو الذي يستفيد من القرآن. أما إذا جاء الإنسان ليتحدى القرآن ربما أو ليستهزئ بالقرآن فلن يكون القرآن سبب هدايته لأنه دخل عليه بنية لا تنبغي. So it's very important that we purify our intention when we deal in the Quran. We should give it its position and to come to the Quran with a good intention to benefit from it. Otherwise, you're not going to benefit from it. The Quran, if you don't have the guidance, it's not going to be a means of guidance for you. See the ayah how it's concluded. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين. Who are متقين? Those that are giving the book its status. Those they come to tackle it with the right intention. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه. لماذا المولى سبحانه وتعالى هنا اختار لفظ الكتاب عوضا عن الأسماء الأخرى للقرآن؟ الكتاب يتخذ للعلم وللمعرفة، وأصل المعرفة هو القرآن. الكتاب يتخذ للاتفاق بين الطرفين، نكتب كتابا، وحبلك إلى الله سبحانه وتعالى هو القرآن، واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا. الكتاب عهد وميثاق وضوابط ثابتة مكتوبة لابد أن تحافظ ولابد أن تصان. فهذا بداية لابد أن تعلم أن كل شيء تحتاج إليه في المعرفة ترجع إليه في القرآن، فأساس المعرفة هو القرآن. There are multiple names of the Quran, but why among all of that the first of those names was chosen is Al-Kitab. Al-Kitab, why is that? And that will remind you actually that with the first word revealed in the Quran is Iqra, read. And now comes Kitab. Read from the book. And this is the book. You remember the first command? Iqra, read. What you read? The book. So when you refer to kitab, that means the source of knowledge. And there's no real source of knowledge like the Quran. So all your knowledge should be linked to the Quran, connected with Quran, start from Quran. You're looking for knowledge? This is your book. I really feel bad for those that are specialized in their field. And then when you ask them about ABC, about Quran, they have no clue. How many books they have read in order to get their philosophy degree? How many books in that field? Hundreds, if not thousands. And when you go and you ask them about the Quran, they have no clue. I feel bad for those. Because this is the real book that you should focus on it. So the book that's a source of knowledge is the Quran. Another thing is a book that when you write a contract, a covenant, you write a book, an agreement, a covenant. So that's the way that what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from you. In other words, this is your guide, this is your manual. So the book, give me the book. Everything's in the book. When you go, we go according to the book. You go to the city hall or whatever, they have a policy, they have something. So, as written in the book. Everything's in the book. Okay, when you're dealing with the car dealer, you're dealing with the city hall, everything's in the book. When you deal with Allah, where's your book? This is your book. That's your manual of your life. Everything's explained and everything's clear. You have no excuses. You have to follow the book. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ. That's how it started. If you don't consider that's your manual and your guide and you go by it, then problems happen. So you give it its position, it's something high, and the second, you have to consider that is your reference. Always you go to this. Everything was written and everything is clear. And that's a book, not for that time, that for this time and for all times. And that's what's amazing things. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. And there's something amazing about the waqf here. You can say, Alif Lam Mim, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ. That's fine. You convey good meaning. And you can say, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ. Beautiful meaning. Imam have to stop there as well. And you can say, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. Each of the words convey beautiful meaning. And you can stop in all of those. And in each time, you give a slight meaning, and all of those meanings are not contradict with each other. There's no doubt in it. Can you imagine? No doubt. Raib, you can say in Arabic, shak. There's no doubt that it's from Allah. There's no doubt in all its order and directions that is good for you. There is no doubt for all of the information that the Quran conveys, even if different from all of other sources. There is no doubt that has contained no error, no mistake, no conflict. And no doubt there has to be from the beginning. The moment you doubt about the Quran, the moment that if you don't fix it, it might actually lead you to a wrong route. Whatever happened, accuse your understanding and do not accuse the Quran. Doubt of your understanding and do not doubt about the Quran. Because some of the things we may mention, it might not click your mind, might above your head. So accuse your ability of understanding and do not accuse the Quran. If you accuse the Quran, you're not going to benefit from the Quran. Because sometimes it might see contradiction as it appears to you. But when you go deeply, there's no contradiction. The contradiction is there. It's not in the book. So no doubt in it. SubhanAllah. Can you imagine at the beginning of the book that would be mentioned? I didn't see such statement even at the end of the book that was made by human. Most time they will write at the end, please, if you find an error or mistake or something has to be corrected, email us to this. And you will find in the second version, there are some corrections in that. But this is the challenge from the beginning. Allah is telling you, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Allah. So that's how we should deal with the Quran. So Allah is telling you from the beginning how you should deal with this book. First, ذَلِكَ. You have to give it its your position. And second, you have to look at it as that a covenant between you and Allah, and that's a source for your knowledge. And you should take it with certainty, with no doubt, accept all of what the Quran conveying to you. Otherwise, Quran will not gonna be your guide. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين. What was the command? What was the request or the dua? The first dua and the first request in the Quran. In Surah Al-Fatiha, Allah said, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. And how many times we repeat اهدنا الصراط المستقيم? In a day, minimum of 17 times. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. You are sincerely looking for guidance? You're looking for hidayah? The answer came here. هدى للمتقين. Right away. You're looking for hidayah? You see the connection? اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. Never talk long until Allah will tell you where is the hidayah. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. هدى للمتقين. This is the hidayah, and this is the source of hidayah, and this is what will connect you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be among those أنعم الله عليهم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. If you want to be among muttaqeen, من هم المتقين الذين أنعم الله عليهم. If you want to be among them, this is your way. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us by the Quran and make the Quran is the book of our life. Ameen. اللهم اغفر ذنوبنا واستر عيوبنا وبلغنا في الدار مطلوبنا اللهم اسألك العفو والعافية والمعافاة الدائمة في الدين والدنيا والآخرة.